On the day of the wedding, Qing ran away from the wedding in public because of a phone call from Zhuma, leaving me alone on the stage to face relatives and friends with different eyes. In the surprised eyes of everyone, I picked up the microphone and said, "This is the last time I met my relatives and friends. In the future, well, there is no future." Qing didn't know that I was already in the late stage of stomach cancer, and my last wish was to see her coming to me in a wedding dress. 1. Zhou Songcheng just called me and said that he had a heartache and fainted in the company. I have to go to see him, Qing said as she pulled down the zipper of her wedding dress. I just came in to ask Qing how her makeup was. Relatives and friends outside were waiting for our wedding to open when they heard her words. Her up-to-the-way appearance made me almost think I had misheard. Does she know what she is talking about? Today is our wedding. This year I have been busy just to make her the most beautiful bride. Give her and give me a wedding that I don't regret. Now when relatives and friends are full and eagerly looking forward to the bride and groom to take the stage, Qing said she would go to see Songcheng. I tried to suppress the sadness in my heart and took her hand. "Qing, today is our wedding. When the wedding is over, I will drive you to see him." Qing quickly took off her wedding dress and changed into a casual suit, with an impatient face. "Can you tell me something? Songcheng people are going to die." His colleague told me that the ambulance has come to the bottom of their company building, and Songcheng was carried out of the company by the medical staff. "Today is our wedding. Are you going to run away for Songcheng? Can you stop being unreasonable? If the wedding is at worst, it will be held again. Songcheng will only have one life." Qing's words are like countless needles stuck in my heart. Since she cares so much about Songcheng, why does she agree to marry me? I stopped in front of her with red eyes. "What does Songcheng's illness have to do with you? Did he call you in person? Or does he have no family to take care of him? Do you want your married woman to take care of him?" Qing blushed with anger and slapped me. "Zhou, are you sick? I think you're really crazy." Her wrist struggled out of my clenched hand. "Also, Songcheng is my brother. We grew up together. If I fainted in the company today, he would have taken care of me at all costs." Qing didn't wait to finish speaking and took the bag. She didn't even look at me and ran out in a hurry. It's like this again. There is no guess between childhood sweethearts, good brother and sister. You sacrifice your small family for me, and I can also escape marriage for you. Qing, do you know that Songcheng's heart is uncomfortable and just wants to ruin our wedding? And I really can't live long. Qing, if you leave, our wedding will be cancelled. I stared at Qing just hoping that she would look back at me. As long as I look at it, I can deceive myself. Qing has me in her heart. But Qing's body stopped for a moment, and then left without any answer. 2 minutes later, I received a message from Qing. "Don't be unreasonable and appease your relatives and friends. I'll go back after watching Songcheng." The body that had been supported by a large amount of painkillers suddenly began to hurt without signs. I covered my spasming stomach and couldn't tell for a moment whether the stomach hurt more or the dense needle-like heart hurt more. I turned on the painkiller, took a handful regardless, supported my wobbly body, and walked to the wedding stage. Today's wedding is cancelled. It's the last time I've met my relatives and friends. In the future. That's it, there is no future. Before the words were over, I fainted on the stage. The last scene in my sight was the way my parents hugged each other and cried bitterly. 2. Last night I was so excited that I couldn't sleep. I looked at the women around me and thought about getting along in the future. I was even willing to go to the hospital for treatment several times to prolong my few lives. Qing was not so happy. I thought it was just the nervousness before the wedding and comforted her to rest early. Qing smiled perfunctorily. I guess she had something on her mind. When I asked her what was wrong, she just clenched her mobile phone and said nothing. After a while, Qing took the initiative to take a shower and rest. I didn't care. She was still calculating what was incomplete about tomorrow's wedding. It was just a glance, but Qing went into the bathroom with her mobile phone. I was a little confused about why I took my mobile phone in the shower. Then the master of ceremonies called me to discuss something with me. I casually picked up the tablet that Qing put on the pillow to record what the master of ceremonies said. But suddenly I saw the message that popped up on the tablet. Qing, I feel that my heart is not feeling well, and I beat abnormally fast. In those years, my father left because of a heart attack. You think I won't be the same, right? Before I realized who this person was, Qing's message was also replied. After the wedding tomorrow, I will accompany you to the hospital. There was a bomb in my head that exploded with a bang. The person who commented that Chongqing is Songcheng. Qing, it's your wedding tomorrow. If there's anything wrong, I'll check it myself. You get married well, and don't have to worry about me. You are more important than the wedding. I feel cold all over my body. I know that Qing and Chang are childhood sweethearts. They grew up together. Every time Qing talks about Chang, she also calls him the neighbor's brother. But I didn't expect that the relationship between them had reached such an intimate level. Qing, who is so close to our wedding, can give up at any time. I looked up at their chat records and one by one made my heart hurt. Qing's WeChat pinned is Chang, but my fiancé is not even qualified to be pinned. Qing set up an exclusive chat background for Chang, and the pink little red heart is dazzling. At this moment, I don't know what kind of existence I am in Qing's heart. Who on earth is her fiancé? So Qing's absent-minded appearance just now was worried about Chang? Hello? Mr. Zhou. The voice of the master of ceremonies came from the phone, which interrupted my thinking. At the same time, I heard the sound of running water in the bathroom stop, and I hurriedly put the tablet lock screen in its original position. Well, I know what you just said. Let's do as you said tomorrow. At this time, Qing also came out of the shower. She smiled and said that she would put on a mask to make herself more beautiful at tomorrow's wedding. She said she was looking forward to our wedding and our life after marriage. Her happy appearance doesn't look fake, and her bright smile seems to be looking forward to our wedding tomorrow. But why did she comfort Chang to accompany him to see a doctor while telling me that she was looking forward to tomorrow's wedding? I suddenly couldn't see through her. I want to take out the tablet and question what the chat records between her and Chang mean, and ask her where she put Chang on the top and put me. But the burning sensation in my stomach made me swallow the words to my mouth. That's it. I don't have much time left. Why should I care about these? It's better to deceive myself. Qing loves me. But I didn't expect that at the wedding she still chose Chang and left me there. 3. In the hospital, I was lying on the hospital bed. By the bed were my parents who were crying with red eyes, and my relatives who came to help. When I woke up, my parents hurried forward and took my hand with concern. Looking at their haggard appearance, I felt indescribable in my heart. It's okay. Let's talk about the wedding with our family again. How can we do it in a good way? My father comforted me softly. I shook my head. During this period, I just want to accompany you and do my best. My mother wanted to say something, but I interrupted her. Qing, she is very good, but we are destined to have nothing. I lowered my eyes and didn't dare to look into their eyes. The previous few chemotherapies were very painful. I don't want to do chemotherapy anymore, so I just want to leave. My parents finally couldn't hold back and cried again. Relatives advised my parents to go downstairs to soothe their emotions. After thinking about it, I still couldn't help it. I wanted to ask Qing if I would like to accompany her for a long time. If she wanted to, I would do chemotherapy instead of death. It's just that I didn't expect that the familiar mobile phone rang from the ward next to me. The crisp ringtone made me a little in a trance, thinking that Qing was by my side. Who called? I haven't seen you for so long. It's Chang's voice. It turned out that Chang lived in the next ward. It's Zhou's phone number. He should blame me for escaping today. You and Zhou should explain well that he is not a person who does not distinguish between right and wrong. At worst, when I feel better, I will go to his house to make amends for him. There's no need for you to make amends. I won't answer it for now. Let him calm down. With that, I heard a cold female voice in my ear. I'm sorry, the phone you dialed. It turned out that Qing didn't even want to answer my phone. Unexpectedly, Chang posted a new circle of friends. We both have WeChat friends. At first, Chang added me in the name of brother Qing. Later, every time Qing went to find him, he would post a circle of friends and deliberately take pictures of Qing. I know he wants me to see it. The picture this time is Qing peeling fruit for him. The fruit peeled by Qing is particularly sweet, just like my mood. I didn't realize that the joints of my fingers holding my mobile phone turned white, and then I couldn't let go of my hand. I was already like this. What could I do? But if I was in better health and could give Qing happiness, I wouldn't do that. If Chang can treat Qing well, they will live happily together after I leave. Thinking of this, tears rolled silently on the sheets. Why didn't Qing carry the bag I gave you today? Instead, I carried a bag that I couldn't see the brand. Qing's answer hesitated for a few seconds. I was in a hurry to hear that you were hospitalized, so I took a bag casually. Then it's better to put this bag in the hospital and don't take it back. Anyway, it's not that important. That bag is compiled by the blogger's tutorial on the Little Red Book, which is specially hooked for Qing, just so that when she sees it, she can happily show off like other girls. This is a bag made for her by her husband. Okay, since you don't like it, let's put it here when we leave. The nurses like to hold something. I struggled to sit up from the bed. For a moment I wanted to see the details of their relationship like a masochist. I just wanted to know how happy Yiqing was when I was not there. "Enter your mouth." Yiqing's voice is full of pampering, which is the voice I never deserve. Songcheng approached Yiqing. I stood in front of the door. I don't know if Songcheng's kiss on Yiqing's face was intentional. "Ah!" Yiqing exclaimed softly. She turned her back to me, and I couldn't see her expression clearly. "Zhou, why are you here?" Songcheng seemed to have just seen me. "Why are you still wearing a hospital uniform? Shouldn't you be at the wedding site?" I looked at Yiqing persistently to see how she reacted. Yiqing pulled away from Songcheng in panic, and her first reaction was to ask for guilt. "Zhou, you are stalking me." He also changed his clothes to follow me. "Yiqing, I'm not that boring and I have advanced stomach cancer and can't be with you for long. When I leave, can't you be together openly?" I trembled all over because of the spasm in my stomach. "Now we are lovers." There was a moment of distress in her eyes, but after being pulled by Songcheng, Yiqing suddenly said, "I didn't know. Maybe you are talking nonsense to deceive me." I moved away and didn't have the idea of talking to Yiqing for the first time. When Yiqing saw me leaving, she subconsciously wanted to catch up and question me, but she stopped because of Songcheng's cry of pain covering her heart and called out to the doctor in a hurry. I smiled. How clumsy Songcheng's cry was, but Yiqing was willing to believe it. 4. I didn't want to be hospitalized for chemotherapy, let alone listen to you and me in the next ward, so I was discharged from the hospital. Early the next morning I met Yiqing, who was supposed to take care of Songcheng in the hospital at home. Yiqing came to cook for me with ingredients. When my parents saw this, they thought it was Yiqing who had come up with it. They went out happily and left the room for us. People who don't touch yang chunshui naturally don't cook well for the first time, and even the rice is still raw. After taking 2 mouthfuls symbolically, I commented in her expectant eyes, "It's okay." She took the opportunity to say, Zhou, I have something I want you to help with." I frowned. The already bad-tasting dishes and raw rice made my stomach ache. Songcheng's heart is uncomfortable. After examination, the doctor said that he needed a regular blood transfusion. "Both of you are panda blood. Look." I realized later that Yiqing Lai cooked this meal for me so that I could happily agree to give Songcheng a blood transfusion. Songcheng is also willing to have the blood of cancer patients? I asked sarcastically. Yiqing blushed in a hurry. "How can I not know your physical quality? Songcheng is in danger now. We can't find a suitable blood bank for a while. What's wrong with your blood? You don't like Songcheng at all, do you?" I laughed and said, "When you two came back from studying in Songcheng, you have been together all the time. It's only a few time for the two of us to be together. If he doesn't feel well, he will say he's in danger. When didn't you go? When did you go there? He wasn't good. Yiqing, who am I in your heart? Who is he? Since you like him and can't let him go, just break up with me." Enough. I never thought that Yiqing would lift the table. Looking at the mess on the ground, Yiqing picked up the new Hermes bag in her hand and said coldly, "I know very well who Songcheng is, and I know who you are. Panda blood is not a precious thing either. I don't believe that I can't find anyone to transfuse blood to Songcheng all over the country." Yiqing turned her head and left. I muttered, "Yiqing, do you know that I'm going to die? Don't make excuses for your selfishness." Yiqing slammed the door and left, and the sound of slamming the door made the furniture shake. I picked up my mobile phone and sent her a message. "Yiqing, we divided into on the wedding day. My fiancé and another man ran away 39,103. Hand, this is the end of the wedding. 5. I got the news of Yiqing again. It was our mutual friend who told me that Yiqing and Songcheng were married. Perhaps in order to stimulate me, Songcheng even specially sent me a video of their wedding ceremony. In the video, Yiqing's red Xiaofu stimulated my eyes sour. Obviously, she has decided to let go and let her pursue happiness, but why is she so reluctant? I took off the wedding ring in my hand and threw it into the flower pot beside me. This wedding ring, which only I was carrying, had left a faint white circle on my hand at this time. I decided to leave the city and go to Dali alone, where I once wanted to spend my honeymoon with her. The spring in Dali is as beautiful as an oil painting, and flowers are blooming everywhere. Even my mood has become a little better because of the escape from the city where Yiqing is located. The owner of the homestay is a girl who likes to grow flowers by herself. On weekdays, she likes to introduce different ways of planting flowers to me. I also take a book and often sit in the yard and watch her plant flowers. By the way, I read a book to enjoy this rare and quiet afternoon. Zhou, I had a car accident. Help me. Looking at the familiar voice from the strange number, I realized in a trance that I had changed to a new mobile phone number and blocked everyone I knew before. Qing can get my mobile phone number. I think my parents told me. I said lightly. You should call the police or find Songchang, not me. I only know you in this city, Zhou. Listening to the voice from outside the phone, I realized that what Qing said was true. But at this time, I didn't know if I still had the ability to help her. I thought for a moment and got up. The owner of the homestay asked with a smile, "Are you willing to go out today? A friend had a car accident. I have to go and see him." The boss is a warm-hearted girl and hurriedly said, "Let's go. I'll drive you fast." I didn't refuse. In the hospital, Qing lay on the sickbed with a pale face. I knocked on the door and walked in. "I thought you wouldn't come." Her eyes were red and she was very wronged. I didn't say anything. "Why are you here?" Qing suddenly pulled my sleeve. "Zhou, let's get back together. Okay? I was wayward and hurt you before, but now I know I was wrong." I sneered. "You are very innocent by saying this. Don't forget that you and Songchang even held a wedding. Your current behavior is called cheating." Qing's voice was helpless and anxious. "Zhou, I lied to you. I know you will see the video. I hope you can come back after seeing the video. I was wrong, I was really wrong. Maybe I don't love her anymore. Now I only feel disgusted when I see her lying." "Lie to me back? Do you need your parents and your friends to attend when you lie to me back? You think I didn't watch the video, right? There are so many acquaintances at the scene. Are they all invited to play with you?" Maybe my attitude made Qing feel too strange, or maybe it was my kindness. Qing broke down in an instant and cried, "Zhou, I know you hate me, but please save me." Feng. He borrowed usury to deceive everyone. I didn't know about it at first. At the wedding, someone suddenly rushed out and shouted to Songchang to pay back the money, and then I knew about it. The video is true and so is the wedding, but he just used the wedding to make money to pay off the debt, and we didn't get the certificate. Qing's voice trembled slightly. Only now do I understand that he is not sincere to me. I was silent for a moment, and the anger and bitterness in my heart were intertwined. Then what do you want me to do when you come to me? Help you solve his debt problem? Or are you looking forward to our reunion? Zhou, I just need your help. As for the reunion, I know I'm not qualified to make this request, but I really need you. Qing's words are full of helplessness to reality and dependence on me. If you need me to help you call the police, I can do it. As for the rest, I can't help you or give you what you want. I took a deep breath and tried to keep my voice calm. Although I knew that I should turn around and leave more cruelly, I was still a little distressed when I saw Qing's pale face. Zhou, I'm sorry. Qing couldn't stop crying. "Stop it, take care of yourself first." I put the fruit basket in my hand at the head of the bed, trying to avoid her eyes, not wanting her to see my inner fluctuations. Zhou. Qing struggled to say something but was interrupted by me. "Let's talk about it when you recover. The most important thing now is to recover your health." "I see. Thank you, Zhou." The guilt and gratitude in Qing's eyes are intertwined, which is elusive. 6. I thought that Qing would go back after her body recovered, but I didn't expect that she found my homestay. That morning when I just went to the garden to bask in the sun, Qing's figure appeared at the door, looking down at her mobile phone intently. When she saw me, she immediately rushed over and grabbed my hand. "Zhou, I've been looking for you for a long time, but I didn't expect you to be here." I withdrew my hand indifferently and responded coldly, "What you should do now is to go home, where your husband is waiting for you, not to guard me here." There were tears in her eyes. I didn't want to get used to her. I said coldly, "We have terminated the engagement. Now there is no relationship between us. Please don't entangle us." Her face instantly became ugly and she defended herself. "I just left the wedding because Songchang was not feeling well at that time, and no one took care of him. Now I've apologized to you like this. Don't lose your temper, okay?" I avoided her hand again, and my heart was full of indignation. Am I losing my temper? I really want her to listen to herself carefully. On the day of the engagement, she, as a fiancée, blamed me because another man left. I could no longer suppress my emotions and asked sternly, "Did I make trouble?" "Qing, you first find out who is making trouble. It was you who ruined our wedding with your own hands. I treat you sincerely, but you treat me like this. It's really hard to understand." In the face of my complaint, she hurriedly explained, "Zhou, listen to me, it's not what you think. I really just treat him as a friend. I really only love you." I laughed at myself and my words were full of bitterness. "Your love is too heavy for me to bear. You say you love me, but you still love another person in your heart. This feeling makes me sick. She cried again and begged. Zhou, don't do this. Come back with me. I'll hold a more perfect wedding for you again. However, I decisively interrupted her. No need to say more, I won't go back with you again. What I didn't expect was that Song Cheng actually chased Yiqing to the homestay. For a moment, the small yard was full of two people I hated, which made me dizzy and nauseous. Before I could react, Song Cheng suddenly knelt in front of me with a sad face. Zhou, it's all my fault and has nothing to do with Qing. I'm the one who ruined your wedding. Please forgive me. After saying that, Song Cheng looked at Yiqing again. Qing, I was wrong. I have dealt with the usury. My parents sold a house and helped me return the whole of the usury. I was too wayward before, but now I know I was wrong. His green tea making pie made me sneer. A big man actually played this set. Do you really think you are shooting a court play? Are you done? After saying that, hurry up and leave. Seeing this, Yiqing rushed out angrily to protect him, staring at me and accusing. Zhou, you are too much. Song Chengdu knelt down and apologized to you, and you are still aggressive. I couldn't help but sneer and asked, so you think it's me who is wrong? Do you need me to apologize to Song Cheng? She nodded firmly and asked Song Cheng with concern if he was uncomfortable. Looking at this scene, the feeling for Yiqing in my heart completely died. I didn't die long ago, but she couldn't see it, but she asked me to apologize to Song Cheng. The intimacy and the exposure of the heart, but now it ends up like this. This painful feeling is suffocating, and the heart hurts faintly. I looked at Song Cheng's hypocritical face coldly, forced myself to hold back my disgust and sneered. I'm sorry Song Cheng, I delayed you and Yiqing. I wish you happiness and early birth to your precious son in the future. At this moment, Yiqing was so angry that her face turned pale. Zhou, what do you mean? That I didn't dwell on her anymore and went straight away, but she suddenly caught up with me. It's early in the morning. Why is it so lively? Jiang Wei, the owner of the homestay, came out and happened to see Yiqing dragging me. Jiang Wei looked around for a week and suddenly smiled. You are so unlucky to meet a madman early in the morning. I haven't spoken yet. Yiqing is suddenly extremely aggressive. Who are you? What does it have to do with Zhou? I said, sister, I don't need to explain my identity to you. Jiang Wei stretched out lazily. But if you need to check in, you need to register your ID card. I coughed lightly twice. Jiang Wei came over to support me and said strangely, I'm usually a little sick. Now that the wind here is so strong, I'm not afraid of blowing myself up. Go into the room quickly. I followed Jiang Wei into the room and saw Yiqing stomping her feet from the reflection of the glass. Obviously, she was very angry. Entering the room, I said, Thank you. Thank you. If it weren't for you, I would have to be entangled for a while. This girl is the one you visited in the hospital before, right? I nodded. Sorry, I took you to the hospital that day. Your things were dropped in my car. And I accidentally saw your diagnosis and treatment record. I didn't know what to say for a moment. A stranger still cared so much about me, but my former fiancé. I probably heard their quarrel just now. Believe it or not, that man never paid off the usury. I asked curiously, how do you know? It's easy to see that a man lies, but only those who are caught in it can't see it. She shrugged her shoulders helplessly and suddenly smiled sly. Do you want to take revenge on them? To be precise, I do want to take revenge on them. What should I do? The little girl is looking at us downstairs now. Don't move. After saying that, I only felt the fragrance of flowers coming. At that moment, I seemed to fall into the sea of flowers. I just wanted to stay in it and didn't want to come out. When I realized what Jiang Wei was doing and what I was thinking, I couldn't help blushing. Talk advantage of the whole kiss, stimulate the little girl. The little girl Baobuki really went back to get the certificate with the scumbag named Song Cheng in anger. You should know that you can have to repay the loan together after marriage. I was amused by her sly appearance. I didn't expect you to have such a side. After all, you are my guest. You have to protect the safety of the guests. We were talking when Yiqing rushed over angrily and accused him. Well, Zhou, you have a new love so soon. She wanted to attack Jiang Wei and I quickly stopped her. Yiqing, don't mess around. Her eyes were red and she almost couldn't cry. I'm talking nonsense. I love you so much and I'm infatuated with you and you treat me like this? Zhou, are you still a human? Jiang Wei rushed before me and said, Are you sure you're infatuated? If I'm not mistaken, you are Miss Yiqing and Song Cheng is your husband, right? It seemed to be short-circuited. Yiqing's eyes flashed with panic, and she denied it incoherently. I don't know what you're talking about. Zhou is my boyfriend now. If you want to be entangled, you'd better not be entangled with me. Saying, Jiang Wei pushed Yiqing away. I stood on the second floor and watched Qing and Songchang go together downstairs, with the same indignation on my face. After the two of them left, Jiang Wei asked with a smile, "You just said you were my boyfriend. Do you mind? If it weren't for you, I would have been entangled by them. I should thank you." On this day, Jiang Wei and I talked freely in the sea of flowers downstairs, from why I fell in love with Qing at the beginning, to Qing abandoned me at the wedding, and then I decided to leave later. Jiang Wei listened quietly. Her eyes were soft, which made me feel that what she had experienced was not embarrassing. 7. My illness is getting worse and worse. Jiang Wei has never driven me away, but I feel that I can't die in Jiang Wei's homestay, which will affect her future business. It's just that she forced me to stay. How can I not know your physical condition? Just keep it here and I can still take care of you. It can't be said that it was because of Jiang Wei's retention or my reluctance to leave. In the end, I stayed here half-heartedly. Until this day, I saw the circle of friends. Qing and Songchang received the certificate, and the two red marriage certificates received a lot of likes in the circle of friends. When I was looking at my mobile phone in a daze, Jiang Wei came to deliver food to me, and saw the marriage certificate on my mobile phone. "Did your ex-girlfriend get married?" I nodded. "There is a lively bustle in the back, believe me." Jiang Wei was right. When she sent me to the hospital for chemotherapy that day, I suddenly saw a pop-up message on my mobile phone. A man borrowed usury, resulting in the death of his family. Clicking on the message, it was a messy room, a tragic photo of Qing falling from the building, and a photo of Songchang and usury members being arrested. "Qing is dead," I said to Jiang Wei. Jiang Wei was obviously very surprised. "Is that man okay?" "It was taken away." For a long time, Jiang Wei commented, "This girl is really stupid." Yes, I don't know if when Qing was alive, she had ever thought that if she hadn't stepped into the trap of Songchang, she would have lived a happy life now. Looking at Jiang Wei beside me, I don't think it's useful to think about this now. In the past, because of Qing, I also had the idea of living day by day for cancer, but the appearance of Jiang Wei gave me the desire to survive. I want to live and stay in this sea of flowers to accompany her. 8. 2 years later, I touched the back of my hair and followed Jiang Wei. "Wei Wei, what do we need to do today?" Jiang Wei closed the account book and pointed to the small pool in the garden. "Summer is coming. You wash the pool. I want to get some lotus flowers. When it gets cold, we will eat lotus root." "Good." I overcame cancer and proposed to Jiang Wei. She said she wanted to test me. I am very happy to be examined by her now, and I also hope to be examined by her for the rest of my life.